Hey guys, it's Jason from RJ Duke, and with the start of spring training, we're going to start a new segment, and it's going to be called the Prospect Roundup. Just a little bit about me. I've been collecting baseball cards for the better part of 40 years, and my favorite part of collecting baseball cards is prospects. It's a great opportunity for you to make money and potentially get in on guys before they become huge. Now, I'll warn you, it doesn't always work to the best for you. Some of us can remember a guy like Kevin Moss who was going to be a superstar, and that never really just panned out. But for me, I have a pretty good success record for picking out the good guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit three areas for you today. The first one, a team that has a lot of prospects that would be somebody to kind of keep an eye on and maybe potentially buy in because you can get some really good players at really good prices. The first team I want to start with is the Chicago White Sox. We're talking about a team that was the worst team in baseball and technically the worst team in history last year. But one of the truths when collecting prospects is if a team is really bad, you have a really good opportunity to pick up some really good players because even if they miss most of the time, they'll accidentally draft some good players. So when we're talking about the White Sox, they have 6 guys that are currently in the top 100 prospects. That's a lot of guys. What we're looking at is a guy like Noah Schultz. Noah Schultz is 6'10". I don't know if you remember very well, but the last guy I can think of that was 6'10" was Randy Johnson and goes by the big unit. Not a bad guy to pick up. He is a pitcher. It makes him very affordable. So you kind of enter at your own risk, but he is a high upside prospect. The next guy is one of the guys that the White Sox picked up in the trade for Garrett Crochet. That would be Kyle Teel. Kyle Teel was earmarked as the catcher of the future for the Boston Red Sox. So this was kind of an interesting move by the Red Sox to be able to part with him. He is a guy that I expect to see time this year in Chicago. He is a highly talented kid, very athletic, great hitter, and he is still affordable. Additionally, we have guys like Hagen Smith out of Arkansas. He was a guy that was drafted last year. Most people aren't tracking Hagen Smith. Definitely an affordable buy. My favorite of the White Sox, though, is going to be their starting shortstop this year, and that's Colson Montgomery. Colson Montgomery is a talented kid. He is a big boy who can hit a ton. He ran into some problems as he was working his way through the ranks, but I do absolutely look to see Colson Montgomery do better. Also on the list of guys, we have a guy like Braden Montgomery. We also have Edgar Carroll. I was about to talk about his brother Jefferson. That'll be another show. Those guys are all in your top 100. The last 2 guys are kind of the outsiders that nobody's talking about. One is George Walco. He's a huge boy at 6'7" who hits tanks, and most people aren't paying attention to him. The other guy, Jacob Gonzalez. I like Jacob Gonzalez. He struggled a little bit this last year, but he was a top 15 draft pick last year. The next thing I want to talk about is a guy that probably should have made it to the league by now, and we'll call this, when are they going to get there? My guy for this one is Marcelo Mayer. Marcelo Mayer was taken in the 2021 draft. That was a draft that saw guys like Henry Davis, Jack Leiter, Jackson Jobe, also saw Colton Cowser. All of these guys have seen time in the major leagues. Marcelo has not managed to get there. So Marcelo at this point is earmarked for action in 2025. This is a guy when he was drafted, he was compared to Corey Seager from an offensive standpoint and Brandon Crawford from a defensive standpoint. So that sounds like a perennial all-star. The only challenge with a guy like Mayer, and this might be why his value has gone down a little bit and is more affordable, because of the log jam in the middle of the infield for Boston, they did just pick up Alex Bregman. They have multiple guys that are earmarked for the middle of the infield. I would not be surprised if Mayer has to go somewhere else or one of the other big prospects in Boston is traded. But I do look for Mayer to be a quality contributor to the Boston Red Sox for years to come or whatever team he would ultimately land in. The last thing that I'll discuss today, guys, is that guy who's a long way away. This is your best value play. These are the guys that most people haven't heard of. Now, that's going to be the case most of the time. This time is a unique case. I'm going to start our first show with about as sure thing as you're going to get. This is going to be the guy who's going to be the first pick in the draft next year and was just rated as the top player in high school baseball, and that is Ethan Holiday. Now, we probably remember the Holiday name. Matt the dad was a 7-time All-Star. Jackson is a huge prospect for the Baltimore Orioles. Guys, I'm telling you right now, if you don't know the name Ethan Holiday, you gotta get to know this name. He is a monster. He is built like his dad, and he hits tanks. Go online, find the video of him using a cricket bat and hitting a baseball almost 400 feet. It is insane. So those are my picks for today, guys. If you have any questions or you want to know about any prospects in the future, we'll address those in future videos. Drop us a comment. We'll address that. Last thing, if you have a chance to come to RJ Duke on Saturday, we are hosting Topps Rip Night. Get in here, get some free merch, and I'll be around. So if you want to talk about prospects, that's what I'm here for, guys. We'll catch you next time.